Hey everybody, I'm Gracie.
And I'm Ann.
And we are Little Things, Big Difference. And this is the place where we talk about all of the little things that can make a big difference in your life. So, Ann, I have a question for you.
Okay.
What is something that is really important and really valuable that you give to somebody, but once you give it, you can't get it back?
Diamonds. They are a girl's best friend.
That might be true, but time. So time is what we're talking about today. And this time is a non-renewable resource that once you give it away, you can't get it back. Yet a lot of times what we find ourselves doing is just throwing it around like it's unlimited. Yeah. And each of us has this limited number of days and weeks and years on this earth. And so we need to learn to use our time wisely so that we can live these purposeful lives, and which results in us investing our time in the ways that we're intended to.
Yeah. So today we're going to talk about how to create a good time management plan so that you are managing your time and your time is not managing you. And the first thing that you need to do in order to get started with a time management plan is to take a time inventory. Mm-hmm. And when I talk about a time inventory, I mean everything. Go ahead and write down every single thing that you do. Think about all of the things that you do throughout your day, throughout your week, and just write them down on index cards, pieces of paper, whatever. Write down even the little things. Go ahead and write those down. And then what I want you to do is look at that list and take an inventory of the things that are not there. The things that are really important to you, like time with friends, time with family, date nights, church activities, spiritual growth, all of these things that for some reason we just kind of take for granted that they're going to happen in our day. And a lot of times we don't schedule those things in. Mm-hmm. And so then go back through that list and add in all of those big important things to your time management plan, to your list, to make sure those big things come at the top of your time management priority list.
Yeah, and after you make your time management priority list, the second thing that you can do is delegate. Mm-hmm. So what is something that you're doing that someone else could do or someone else should be doing? You know, I don't know about you guys, but personally for me, a lot of times I'm like, it's so much easier if I just do this myself. So let me just do it myself. But what happens is then you're taking the responsibility away from somebody else, and that could be a growth opportunity for them, or that could be their responsibility. And then you could just be taking that off of them and adding it onto your plate, which you just did your time management plan and your list. That's right. So you know you've got enough on there already. So what are you doing that somebody else could or should be doing? Just be sure to delegate those things.
Yeah. And then the third thing is looking at that big list of all of the things that you have to do, evaluate the shoulds. And what I mean by those shoulds are the things that you think you should be doing or you should do, or things that other people have told you should do. A lot of times we end up living our lives based on these unrealistic expectations that we have of ourselves, or unrealistic expectations that others have put upon us. And then we turn these shoulds into things that we, quote, have to do, when in reality, these are just things that are maybe get-tos or things that we could do. But we need to evaluate anything that we are telling ourselves that we should do or others are telling us that we should do. Some of those things may be really great, but it may be overloading our schedule and our time management and really causing us kind of to carry a burden of unrealistic expectations. So evaluate those shoulds and mark off the things that you shouldn't be doing right now.
Yeah, that's good. So the fourth thing that you can do is combine some of your tasks to save time. So what I'm talking about is maybe you need to meet with a coworker every week for an hour, and maybe you also need to go to the gym every week for an hour. Well, you could combine those tasks and meet with your coworker at the gym and have your conversation while you're working out together. Or maybe you need to call your mom or your dad or your sibling or your friend every day for 30 minutes or so, and you have a 30-minute commute to work. Well, you could safely call them on the way to work, and then you could combine those tasks to eliminate some of your to-dos in places that you're already spending that allotted amount of time.
Yeah. And then the fifth one, the last one, is to look at your weekly schedule once you have all of these pieces in place and to evaluate it for margin and rest time.
Mm.
Go ahead and schedule in days off so it doesn't accumulate with other meetings and things like that on your schedule. And even when you are scheduling your regular meetings and things like that, try to give yourself a buffer of like 15 minutes. So if you know that the meeting is going to last an hour, then don't schedule the next one till an hour and 15 minutes. Or if you know that the meeting will last 45 minutes, then schedule the next one within an hour. Give yourself a little bit of time, a little bit of break in between those meetings just to reset your brain. It's really hard for your brain to move, really quickly from one thing to the next thing and have time to reset and just have time just to get your head in the right space. So make sure that you're giving yourself some breaks in the day. Make sure you're giving yourself some breaks in the week so that you can be the best person, the best you that you can be with energy and effectiveness during those hours of work time and task time.
Yeah, that breathing room is definitely a little thing that makes a really big difference for sure. So if you've tried any of these tips, we would love to hear from you in the comments, and we would also love to hear from you in the comments. What works for you when you're working on your time management schedule. Maybe we can help each other out. And as always, be sure to like this video and subscribe to Little Things Big Difference so you don't miss any of the upcoming episodes. And check us out as well on Facebook and Instagram at The Chapel Online. And we look forward to hearing how this has made a big difference in your life.